That's just sitting there. Not even chewing. There you go.
They would make you strip. And you think how embarrassing it was, how painful it was to come in as
Taco, do you want to show them your battle damage? Look at this guy. He ain't having it.
Look at me! Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
That gets you wet really fast. Oh my god. I'm going back out there. I wish I had
Hey guys, welcome back to an episode by Burn World 2 Day Vlog 61. So first off, I just want to talk about the previous video, which of course was the third and for now final Fortnite video I'll be doing, which was kind of the recap over Season 4, everything I unlocked. If you haven't watched it, of course, as always, right next to the previous video, where it says previous video, in the description of this video, that will be the link to that video since it's a previous video. So yeah, so please go watch that. You don't have to watch all of it, of course it was like 51 minutes or something. Basically, honestly, all you have to watch is mainly like the first 5 seconds to see the thumbnail, because I worked pretty hard on it, and it kind of shows most of the stuff that I unlocked. But then also like the last 6 minutes, I just have picture slideshows of all my most proud moments, most proud finds, and my tier ups, and basically all my Fortnite final captures, which those are the most valuable pictures for it anyway. Basically, if you're going to watch any of that video, just watch like the first 5 seconds and the last 6 minutes or so. That's all that really matters. All the stuff in between is mainly Season 5 talk. So if you haven't watched that, please go watch it. It's probably the most important Season 5 video. The only reason why I'm saying the most middle part is because for some reason the OBS Studio, our screen recorder, it started out working perfectly fine, but now it's like going downhill. And basically now I was saying it was running at like 1 frame per 10 minutes, and it was just like taking screenshots basically, and it started out like it would cut to a new screenshot basically like every 5 minutes or so, but then it got to like, it was like 1 screenshot per 11 minutes or something. So yeah, but you have to watch that video. Please definitely go watch that. I might be doing a couple videos, I don't really know. Basically for Season 5 I'm not buying the Battle Pass, of course. So basically, if I do any more Fortnite updates for you guys on my account or anything, it'll probably just be pictures on day vlogs or whatever from now on. Because of course I'm not going to be playing it as much now. But yeah, so here we go, starting off this day vlog. Of course, hopefully you guys also, hopefully you guys liked the intro. That was pretty much everything. Most of that stuff I would have just shown and talked about on this day vlog, but I put it in the intro just to save some time, because you guys know I tend to ramble on. From my few disorders, just have to explain everything. But hopefully you guys like the intro. There's cool Minecraft builds, tons of photography, some new Lego stuff, of course, right above me and everything. But yeah, so here we go with starting off with my Ant-Man and the Wasp. And this one I actually did not ramble on, and so it's not actually that long. I didn't summarize the whole entire movie, so this is actually pretty much a spoiler-free review. Here we go. Ant-Man and the Wasp is directed by Peyton Reed and is the latest entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And to start this off, I will say that I was honestly not that big of a fan of the first one, and I still don't own it on physical media, so I was on the edge about going and seeing this one in theaters. But I did anyway, because Marvel promised something that has to be seen in Marvel Avengers, or has to be seen in between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4. Anyway, it stars Paul Rudd as Scott Lang / Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne / Wasp, Michael Douglas as Dr. Hank Pym, Hannah John Kamen as Ava / Ghost, Lawrence Fishburne as Dr. Bill Foster / Goliath, Michael Pena as Luis, Tip Harris as David Dasmalachian, hopefully I pronounced that right, as Kurt, Walton Goggins as Sonny Birch, Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne / Wasp, Abby Ryder Fortson as Cassie, Bobby Cannavale as Paxton, Judy Greer as Maggie, and Randall Park as Jimmy Woo. Anyway, this one takes place seemingly a few weeks before the events of Infinity War, and has Scott on his 2-year house arrest for teaming with Captain America during Captain America Civil War, and Hank and Hope are still trying to rescue Janet from the quantum realm. And the villain for this one is Ghost, a woman that was caught in an accident at her father's lab that killed both of her parents but left her phasing with her cells. So after Hank and Bill complete their Goliath project, Bill starts to help Ava with her problems and basically becomes her new father figure. And the company created by Scott, Luis, Dave, and Kurt, XCon, is going bankrupt, so they are always trying to do stuff to get noticed. And if you don't remember, it's basically like a security company type thing. Anyway, one day while doing stuff in his house, Scott has a dream where he finds out how to find Janet and calls Hank, where he later gets knocked out by Wasp. And they bring Scott with them and leave a giant ant with Scott's ankle tracker on it. And they have a whole entire brand new lab that they can shrink down and use like a luggage case. And that is the main MacGuffin of this film, because their quantum realm tunnel is in the lab, almost complete. and Ghost wants to get back to normal and figures out that if she doesn't, she only has a few weeks to live. So Bill ends up helping her, but to certain extents. Hank, Hope, and Scott also use a classic Hot Wheels carrying case as their vehicle arsenal so they can grow or shrink any vehicle in there whenever they need to. Anyway, Scott also has to go back to his house and act like he's been there the whole time whenever the FBI comes back, since he is on his last 2 days. And so that also interferes with the mission. And since Hope and Hank are almost broke, they get all their technology to build the tunnel from the high-class black market, led by Sonny Birch. And Scott later has Janet basically in his body, and she tells them how to rescue her through Scott, and then he comes back. And so they finally get the tunnel working, and the whole final battle chase at the end of the movie is basically all to keep the lab away from Sonny, and to distract Ghost so she doesn't get involved yet. Anyway, Ava also wants to get in her stabilizing room while Hank is bringing back Janet, because then she can use her life force to replenish hers. But Bill tells her that they'll find another way right as Hank is just about back with Janet, and then Scott, Hope, and Bill have to stop Ava. And luckily, Hank and Janet get back and have a nice little reunion, and then Janet uses her fingers to heal Ava. And when Hank went in to find Janet, he wore a retro-looking sci-fi spacesuit thing and used the Quantum Realm Explorer. Anyway, I don't want to spend all this time summarizing this film like I usually do, so that's about it. Now onto my pros and cons. So first off, for my pros, I will say I like this one more than the first one. Also, while none of the three villains, Ghost, Goliath, and Sonny Birch, were amazing or anything special, pretty much all three of them were much better than the horrible villain of Yellow Jacket from the first movie. I also thought that the relationships between most of the characters were pretty good, especially with Cassie, Jimmy, Hope, etc. The set design, visual effects, and CGI were pretty much perfect for this one. I liked the music choices for the most part, and the humor on this one was much better than on the first one. I also liked the couple of references to the film Them, with giant killer ants, including everyone watching it on a laptop while they were sitting in Hot Wheels cars, like a little drive-in theater towards the end. Also, how this one had a huge female hero character, but managed to not shove feminism at the audience constantly, like most Disney things nowadays. And I also liked the end credits with still scenes from the movie with little figures and built sets. And I also thought that the Stan Lee cameo was decent. I loved Luis's story more than his one on the first and I also loved Luis's story more than his one on the first movie. But for my cons, I still don't know if I'll be buying this one on physical media. I might, but I still don't know. It was only 1 hour and 58 minutes, but it still kind of seemed long. It's not as rewatchable, which may have been because of the oversized final act and the miniature other acts. I also really liked the beginning with Scott and Cassie's cardboard secret spy mission, and then the giant cardboard slide around the house and down tons of stairs. But also just of the fun things Scott did around the house while on house arrest, and we only get to see about 5 minutes of that stuff, and I wanted at least a few more minutes. But also, literally the main character of Scott Lang still just seems like Paul Rudd as he has in Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, and still now. Which I like, but 1 or 2 movies like that and it's going to start getting old. I also felt like they really tried tying this one into Civil War one too many times. But also, probably the best thing about the first movie was the small stuff scenes, mainly the final battle with the Legos, Thomas, and the small train set, etc. And while this one had the awesome little cars and a lot more Giant Man and the Hello Kitty Pez, the kitchen fight scene, etc., nothing really came close to the creativity as the previous final battle did, and that's about it. So this part will have spoilers. So anyway, for the 2 after credit scenes, we get the first one, which made me fanboy and sent chills down my spine. And I started just kind of like laughing how surprised I was. Because I kind of heard some little leaks about this, but I didn't know it went down like this, and I didn't know who turned into dust. Because on the roof of a building, Hank, Janet, and Hope made the tunnel smaller and put it in the back of a van, and they were sending Scott into the quantum realm to collect some of the energy stuff to continue healing Ava. And they said mic check, and Scott did not reply, but then came in, and it was just a joke. He gets the energy and tells them that he got in to pull him back in, but then the radio starts making fuzzy noises, and he starts yelling and telling Hank that he even told him not to mess around like that. But he keeps on screaming at them, and it cuts back to the real world where there are 3 little piles of dust and more falling down as it pulls into the dust, with Scott still stuck in the quantum realm, still screaming. So that, of course, takes place parallel with Infinity War from Thanos' snap, and if Scott wasn't in the quantum realm, he would have been dust too. But that probably explains how they are going to have time travel and why Ant-Man has been spotted with the original MCU Avengers and set photos from Avengers 4. And yes, I did hear about that kind of continuity error, because on Infinity War, when they were talking Cap's team, or the people that Cap was with at the Avengers HQ place, they were saying that Scott was on house arrest, but then right here it was parallel to it, and then he wasn't on house arrest or anything. So they're saying like he wasn't on house arrest during Infinity War. So yeah, so kind of confusing, but I don't quite know yet. So anyway, the second one is the funny one, but it's still extremely haunting as it cuts to Scott's house completely empty, and then it shows the giant ant still playing the electric drum set, and then all of the TVs and radios get the multicolored screen, and they all say something about an emergency, and that is not a test, with a constant beep sound. And then the ant stops playing and it looks around to complete dead silence, and then it officially ends with the usual black screen with the text, and it says Ant-Man and the Wasp will return, period. But then the top part fades on it and turns the period into a question mark. So yeah, overall, Ant-Man and the Wasp was not amazing, but it is still better than the first in my opinion. If you see pretty much every MCU film in theaters like me, I would say go and see it, but if not, just wait to rent it or buy it. So that's my review for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm pretty sure I talked about everything that I wanted to mainly. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So now on to the rest of the day vlog. Okay guys, so now for my update movie poster wall, which I believe is literally just one, which I will talk about more in a second, but it is the Lego Ninjago movie. Yes, I finally saw it. It's just hung up right there. The poster is my favorite poster from it, with all of those. But I will talk about that more in a second, but I thought it was, just for now, I thought it was good enough for a poster, because I also have one, of course, for the Lego movie, still one of my, I believe, top 5 favorite movies of all time, probably still my most watched movie of all time, and then the Lego Batman movie, which I like just a little bit, well, quite a bit better than the Lego Ninjago movie, but, yeah, but, so that's literally my updated movie poster wall, right there. So yeah, so there, of course, is all of those Mario things, and then my Boogie Bomb, I put right there, and I didn't know that I didn't have pictures of these, so I guess I'll just have to show them right now, but I also built these pixel art things, back there, which I believe this is Clyde. I can't remember all the ghost names from Pac-Man right now, but I built the blue ghost from Pac-Man, a little, pixelated Pokeball right there, and the classic Zelda. Of course, I've never really played, Pokemon or Zelda, but Pac-Man and Mario, yes. Yeah, so now for my newest drawing, I believe I only have one for this episode, but you guys know all my Clash of Clans drawing. I said that was going to be my final one, because I was all, the troops in the game, and also drew some spells and traps and whatnot. And I also drew, all the heroes and everything, excluding the builder base. But, right, not too long after that, of course, I believe it's almost been, a month now, but, the Clash of Clans released another thing, which I thought was kind of weird, because it took them, years to make another Town Hall after Town Hall 10, a new max level. And, of course, they made level 11, 3 months ago or something like that. But now, literally just a month ago, they released another Town Hall level. So now the max level is level 12. But along with that, once you get it to level 12, you can get these new things, which of course I drew both the Siege Machines, my favorite book that can be obtained from clan games and stuff, and basically there's the Book of Building and Book of Spells or whatever. You can complete any upgrade of spells, any upgrade of a troop, any upgrade of a build or whatever, but the Book of Everything, you can complete any ongoing thing on either base, and it just has a little hourglass. Yes, that's a book right there. And then I of course drew both the Siege Machines. This is, I believe, the Wall Wrecker, I can't remember, but these are really cool, because if you don't know, I don't have my Town Hall still level 10, but this one right here, it breaks walls almost any level in one hit, and then once it's finally destroyed, you can see the little hatchet actually drops whatever troops you got donated, which is really cool. And then this one is, I can't remember the, something balloon, but yeah, it's basically a blimp, and I can't remember what that does. I believe it drops bombs or something, I can't really remember, but then it drops troops, of course. And then the Electro Dragon, which can, sends a line of lightning and destroys multiple things at a time. probably one of the coolest, or probably the coolest looking dragon, I would say, because of course now there's 3 dragons: the main dragon, the baby dragon, and the electro dragon right there. And you can see I've injured the little light blue spots and the lightning kind of sparking off. But just a little drawing for the new update that I drew quite a while ago now, because I have not done a life update, as you saw in the intro, for quite a darn while. So yeah, so now I'm going to show these. So my updated pop collection, I believe this is probably my biggest updated pop collection of all time, like for amount. But yeah, so I don't even think, yeah, I haven't even showed this. So I believe the last time I showed you guys, my pop collection was all lined up right here, and then I had Thanos right there. Can't really remember, but now I moved like all the stuff from this shelves and kind of rearranged around here. So now all this stuff is all over this shelf. All my, like, some of my Seattle stuff, and then my little Star Wars ships and some stuff from my dad. And the custom Transformers right there. So now this is for like the shelves without the backs I put most of the stuff on, but then the ones with the backs, so I could put like the boxes and stuff, is where all my pops are. So yeah, so some of these I did get quite a while ago now, since I haven't done a update in a while. But this shelf, of course, you guys have seen all these ones except for this one right here. I of course have still not seen Solo. I wasn't too excited for that. It's still like the lowest grossing Star Wars film of all time. But this one was actually on sale for $6 instead of $9 at my Target, and I just found that, and I thought it was a pretty cool pop. It's probably the coolest one from that movie, in my opinion, so I decided to get it. For some reason, this stand does not come off, or he does not come off this stand like my Kylo Ren does, but my favorite part right there is probably how he's kind of standing in that Western pose, kind of, Western standoff. But then you can actually see he does actually have a little DL-44 blaster right there in his little goggles, so that's from like the little snow scene from the movie, I guess. So yeah, so then the Thanos box right there, and then the Seahawks one. Then that's what's in that shelf now, and then same with that one. I believe that one's the same. And then Bastille box kind of just moved over. And I also actually moved my trophies out here, finally, right there. So I don't know how long those have been in here. They're just my tallest trophies, so they won't fit anywhere up there. So that's really the only place I could put them. But they also kind of worked as my door stopper. So now some of my door doesn't hit these still. I just built this little Lego thing that works just as fine. So then right here, I just have one of my favorite ones, Mia and Sebastian from La La Land. Their box right there, the little thing that I made right there. Salt dough stuff. Right here, you guys have seen all these pops. I just put the 2 elf ones back there. Since they're somewhat cool pops, but I don't like the movie. The only reason I got them is because it was after Christmas, and they were on sale for 89 cents. And no matter what pop it is, you get it if it's 89 cents. And then those 3 are right there. Bastille box. Then this one, I put the 3 boxes right here for Hannibal Lecter, Norman Bates, and Bob Ross with Raccoon. But then the 2 pops I put right here, technically 2.5. I put Hannibal Lecter and Bob Ross with Raccoon. Then right here, my favorite pop still is, of course, Thanos. I showed on the last day vlog right next to the Lego Infinity Gauntlet. My two bigger mini Star Wars custom ships. But yeah, so he was right there. I just moved him right there. So now I just have like those 2 models right there. That right there, and then right there now I just put the little mini Lego USS Enterprise. So the models that were right there, I finally moved them back over here. It was just these 2, and then the SR-71 Blackbird I put right there. So that's kind of the new layout of that, because I did kind of move all these around. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, so this is pretty much the one with the rest of my new pops, the other new 3. And these are some of my favorite pops, because that's of course still my first favorite one, but that's my new second favorite one, and then third favorite one. And then these 2 combined, technically for like actual pops, probably fourth favorite, but for what they are, I would say like from what they're from and stuff, and scene and everything, I would say they're higher up. But yeah, so right here, I actually got these. I got this Deadpool one and the Solo one the same day, actually. I just saw these, and I saw that they were made this pop, and they were putting like different heads on them and stuff. And I was just like, what are they styling those off of? So yeah, so they're doing this new thing with like the Dr. Ian Malcolm's famous weird lay scene from the original Jurassic Park. So yeah, so first off, I found this with a whole bunch of other Deadpool stuff, and And my first Deadpool pop. I've been wanting one for so long. He was originally supposed to be my first ever pop, instead of Iron Patriot right there. But I finally got one. There was actually one where it's just like, it shows on the back of that box, but it's just like regular Deadpool. But the printing on his belt of the Deadpool logo was actually upside down, which that might have made it really expensive in the future. But this one is a Target exclusive. It is Mermaid Deadpool. Of course, he was my first one actually like laying, not standing. But he's got a little harpoon right there, a little flower on his head. He has a little nub on the back of his thing right there, as you can see. And then he's just got those little starfish right there, and then the tail. And of course he has a bobblehead. In the box right there, it's Target exclusive, my first ever Target exclusive. But then not too long later, I actually saw this one on the internet quite a while ago, and I actually rewatched the original Jurassic Park like a week and a half ago or something like that, and we were like, when we saw the scene, we were laughing about it, and I showed my mom and dad the pop that they made for it, and I thought that I would never get it. It was like $30-something online, and I'm not paying that much for a pop. But then all of a sudden I go to a Target, and there's literally one of these, and I like freaked out because I was just like, what? They sell this in stores? And yeah, I got it for $9, regular pop price and I checked online. I was just like, did they just now release it? And that's why it was $30? But no, it's still $30-something. So I think in the future this will be a very expensive pop, probably one of my most expensive ones. But I guess it's a Target exclusive, so I got the last one there. Very happy about that. But yeah, so I mean, I really like his hair, and also, I mean, it's just a pretty cool pop overall. The printing is kind of weird, as you can see right there. It looks like he ripped his pants like all the way up or something. And the stick is skin colored, so it kind of looks like a bone is popping out, even though it's like a stick to hold his leg straight. But I like the blood, his little arm resting on his knee. And that's, I mean, he's probably my favorite character from the original Jurassic Park. And I'm just so happy I found that pop. But then last one right here is, of course, my favorite character from my current favorite movie still, Baby from Baby Driver, or Miles. But yeah, so this one I actually saw on the, as you guys know, this was the only other pop that that I ever, like, saw before it came out, and then I got it at Barnes & Noble not, like, a week after they came out. But this one I saw on the Pop Instagram, the official Pop Instagram, like, I believe a month and a half before it came out, like, late May, I believe I saw it first, or early June or something like that. So then I waited a little bit to pre-order it, and then I waited until, like, late June, and I got this, I believe, just, like, 4 or 5 days ago or something like that. But yeah, so this is my new second favorite pop. So yeah, so it's kind of weird because they released, they also released Bats, which is kind of cool, but I'm not going to get him. And it's kind of weird because the more expensive ones, the more rare ones are of course, called Chase. And the Chase one for this series is actually just this one without the glasses, which I think is kind of weird because I would feel like this one would be more wanted because that's kind of Baby's look, is that jacket and then like the earbuds and the glasses. So I don't know why you would want to get him without the glasses. But yeah, so he actually does have eyes underneath, which I don't know if you can see right there, and eyebrows, of course. But yeah, so he got his hair. The really cool earbuds, which are pretty, a pretty flexible plastic. You can turn his head and stuff. But yeah, I really like how you can actually see him like in his ears and stuff. And then coming out of his pocket right there for his little earbuds. I really like his hands actually in his pockets, and his little coat right there. And that I thought the glasses were actually gonna be like translucent black. That's actually translucent clear, and on the box you can see it's actually like translucent. You can see his eyes through there, but no, it's just solid black plastic. But yeah, so still really like that pop. I believe I paid like $10 for that one, and I pre-ordered it, and it's not like movies you get on the day of release if you pre-order it. If you're an Amazon Prime member, because you get free 2-day shipping. So when you pre-order most things, mainly movies, as far as I know, you get them on the day of release. But for Pops, I got this. It came out on June 1st. I actually got it on June 3rd, which is kind of cool because I can't remember exactly what day Baby Driver went into theaters, but I remember my dad and I actually went to go see it last year on July 4th, so I actually got that the day before the 1-year anniversary of us going to see it in theaters. So yeah, so I now have that. So that's my updated pop collection, pretty big, but yeah, I really like all my new pops there. So now for my updated movie collection, which is also quite big, so you can see it's all the way just about touching right there. So yeah, so some new ones right there, just throughout all of there, and then of course finally got my third steelbook because I got Django Unchained straight out Compton, and finally got that one, which I'll show in a second. But I'm gonna get all of them out real quick. so we can just show them all all at once real quick. Alright guys, so I didn't get all of them right now because then some movies are going to be like falling over and stuff. But I did get the ones that I got on the same Target trip. These ones I got the same time I got the Solo Pop and the Deadpool Pop back there. But yeah, so as you guys know, a while ago I got this one for like $5, I believe. It's both the episodes of it forming the full, pretty much TV movie of that. You guys know I kind of like that. I think it's pretty, I think it just seems really long. I'm watching both of them and it's really confusing because it's not just like kids on the first episode and then adults on the second episode. It's all mixed up and stuff, and I was just like, is this the first episode or what? So it's kind of confusing, but you guys know I did my review on the new It. You guys know I said that it was not worth the hype, or that it's, I believe, still the highest grossing horror movie of all time. I still don't think it deserves it. I watched it for a second time with my parents because they still haven't seen it, so now we've all seen it. But I did like it a little bit more second time around, but still not amazing. But I finally got it. I said I was probably going to get it once it went on sale, and it went on sale, I believe, I can't remember how much. I think it was like $15 or something like that. Front cover is pretty basic, just the classic Georgie poster with the balloon, and you can kind of see his face in the balloon. Back is just like that. And then it came with 2 discs. You got the disc right there for the movie, and then the special features with the balloon on it. So yeah, so pretty basic, but now I own the new It as well. Then this one, you guys know, I hung up the triple poster thing, triple poster collage for these, and I talked about them and gave my thoughts on these movies when they were on Netflix, when I watched like all 3 in a row. But I finally got them on physical media, so I thought that this was just really good. I believe it was like $10 for all 3 movies on Blu-ray. And the Ocean's 11 I liked quite a bit. Ocean's 12 is probably my least favorite out of the trilogy, but Ocean's 13 is not as good, not near as good as Ocean's 11, but still better than Ocean's 12. But yeah, but also I really like the box. It says triple feature, got the main 3 posters for those, spine, and then the back with the things for all 3 of them. Then that pretty heavy box, of course, for 3 discs, and then you got all those things right there. And opening it up, you have 11 right there, and then on the back of that you have 12. So the disc for 11 is pretty boring, but these ones actually have color and stuff. So there's 12, and then 13 right there. So I haven't rewatched any of them yet. I don't plan on rewatching any of them for a while, because I mean, they're not movies that are super rewatchable. Ocean's 11 maybe once every other year or so. But of course, when you're constantly watching movies and own a ton of movies, you don't rewatch movies as much anymore. But then this one, the most recent Best Picture winner, I believe last day vlog might have been the day vlog before that. I can't really remember, but we rented this as soon as we could to watch it. But yeah, so of course directed by Guillermo del Toro. I really like this. I think it seems somewhat too long, but I really like the 2 main scores for this movie, and the main one actually won best original song, I believe, or it did, but I can't remember exact the name of the reward. Yeah, so main thing, of course, I also love that poster. I just got this one on DVD because it was on sale. I can't remember for how much, but I think it was only like $13 or something like that. But yeah, so main poster right there, and then the back right there, and I believe the disc is pretty simple. Oh yeah, it's just white and says The Shape of Water. So yeah, so that's it for now. Now I'll go get my second trip to Target in between the last day vlog and this day vlog, because I have 3 trips worth of movies and pops. So I'll go get the second trip real quick. Alright, so next, here's the next ones. I forgot these ones are actually not from Target. I actually went pop hunting one day, didn't get a single pop, because I guess if you don't get them at Target or Amazon, they're like $12 instead of $9, and I think 9 is, I think like 12 is the most I'd pay for a pop, but I mean, I wasn't looking for any that I still don't, I was like $12 for certain ones, but any of the ones I was looking for are not worth $12. But I got these at Big Lots because they had these movie cart, and it was pretty darn good. They were like $3 to $5 movies. I think most of the Blu-rays were $5 and certain DVDs. But then most of the DVDs were $3. So first one, another Best Picture winner here. I believe 2014 Best Picture winner. I can't remember. Yeah, 2014. So it won over Whiplash. I still like Whiplash better, of course, but this one is still really good. I gave my thoughts on it quite a while ago now. I have the poster up there. But yeah, so it's Birdman. right there. I believe this one was $5, I think, but I think it was worth it. Front cover is pretty darn cool. A little spine right there, and then the back right there, and I believe the DVD is some disc art right there. But yeah, so that's the first one right there. Next one is this movie. Some of you might have heard of it or seen it. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's actually directed by Ben Stiller. Probably my favorite movie with Ben Stiller. I watched it quite a while ago, but I have to be honest, I don't remember pretty much any of it. I remember some scenes, but I rewatched it like the night after I got it, I believe, and I actually really like this movie. It's actually pretty darn good. It has some flaws, but I mean, for most part, it's actually a pretty darn good, just kind of feel-good adventure movie. So if you haven't seen this, I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, so spine right there, front cover, pretty interesting and nice right there, and then a spine right there, and then the back, and then DVD. Most of these actually have disc art, so this one just kind of the city right there. So yeah, so that's that. This one for like, I don't usually like comedy movies or straight up like comedy rated R movies or anything, because I just think they're just always kind of bad films since I'm a film fanatic. But they also used to be like good, like the like around the Superbad era. Nowadays it's just like always just Melissa McCarthy, which me and my dad absolutely hate. And it's just like always her, or like Sausage Party or whatever, just like trash comedy movies. So this is one of the very few that I actually like. I hung a poster for it quite a darn while ago, talked about it a long time ago, but I actually really like this one. I think it's somewhat long, or at least seems somewhat long, but this one I think was like $3, and it's for the 2-disc unrated extended edition. So yeah, so then you have the little McLovin Hawaii card right there that they just replaced the text for 2-disc unrated extended edition. So yeah, so main cover right there, spine, and then the back right there, which with text all over the place. So yeah, so main disc right there, and then the second one is the 2 cops, of course, right there. So yeah, so there is that, and then the last one right here is one of my few horror movies that I own, which is Chernobyl Diaries. I watched this a long time ago. Of course, I'm really interested in like Earth stuff, like the creepy places like the Alhigigara, Suicide Forest, Chernobyl, just all those, Winchester House, Island of Dolls, whatever. This is about Chernobyl, of course. It has pretty negative reviews. I can agree with a lot of them. It has pretty terrible acting, and it actually doesn't suffer from as much jump scares as a lot as you would think. So that's one flaw I kind of avoided. But it's literally 86 minutes, so it's not even an hour and a half. But yeah, so that's the main cover right there, spine, back. I watched it a long time ago. I believe I watched it like twice a long time ago, and I've been wanting to see it for a while, so I found it for like $3, and I was just like, well, there we go. That's cheaper than renting it, to own it forever. So yeah, so I'm going to go put these back and get the final 2 movies, I believe, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so the final ones, I got these with my 2 mystery packs, which I'll show in a second. But I also got these 2 that I've been wanting to get for a while, but I've been waiting until they got a little cheaper. So yeah, so first off, you guys know I wanted a Steelbook forever, so quite a while ago I finally got this one. I tracked it down on Amazon for quite cheap, and it's also my favorite Quentin Tarantino film he's done so far. But it's also probably still the coolest, my favorite spine out of any of my Steelbooks. And the front's really cool. I like the metallic blood kind of on there in the back, but the really sucky part is it has a cool disc, but absolutely no inside art, which is one of the many things Steelbooks are known for. So then the second one I got is a movie I'm not a huge fan of, but I think it's alright. I just don't think it's as good as like a lot of people say it is, and I think it's way too long. But yeah, so Straight Outta Compton. You guys know I've had this one. The Steelbook for this one is probably one of my favorites though still, because I really like the front cover. Back right there, spine's kind of boring. But then also, of course, this one actually does have, I'm not going to take out the disc right now, but it does have actual inside art. But now this one is like what a Steelbook fully is supposed to be like. This one, I've been wanting to get this one for a while, but I've been just kind of thinking about it or avoiding it. But I finally got it. It was, this is actually the Target exclusive limited edition ET Steelbook. So yeah, so it could be a little bit more in the future maybe. But yeah, so probably said, I mean, it's said to be one of the best films of all time. I've seen it once. I don't know when I'm going to rewatch it. Maybe somewhat soon. I don't really know, but because I kind of want to watch it again. But yeah, so very, very good movie. Of course, you guys have probably mostly all seen this. Of course, a Steven Spielberg film, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Yeah, so that's the front cover. Pretty cool, but kind of boring. That's what I was kind of worried about. And then also the spine is somewhat boring, but kind of cool. But then the back is really, really cool. I really like that. It's, of course, E.T.'s spaceship thing right there. So that's really, really cool, and it looks like it's all like painting or something almost. Then opening it up, this one is actually a Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. So it actually came with my first Steelbook to have more than one disc, and it's really cool to set up. Because you take out one disc, and then you can see most of them with multiple discs, they just put on top of each other or whatever, or have the flips. But this one, they didn't put on top of each other. It's kind of like separate, and then they have this little plastic thing separating both of them, so you don't have to worry about either of them getting scratched or anything, and that kind of holds it in place as well. So yeah, so then if you want to take that one out, kind of just have to slide it in there or whatever. But then this one actually has probably my favorite inside box art. It has right before they fly in front of the moon when they're flying in front of the sunset. So yeah, so this is probably my favorite Steelbook. I'm actually pretty darn happy that I finally got it, because I didn't think it was going to be this good, and I'm happy that I also finally own E.T. So yeah, but for $13 I think it's definitely worth it. So if you still have this at Target, I would definitely recommend picking it up. But then next up is what I was talking about on the movie poster wall, which is this, which I will get onto in a second. But you guys know this is the one that I rewatched the most. Yeah, but this is the one that I bought originally. I don't have the slipcover because that was back when they, of course, you guys know my main enemy with buying movies is when they put the stickers on the slipcovers. And unless if it's like the glossy plastic and the glossy high quality stickers, it does not come off without residue and all that stuff. They have to use lemon doTERRA oil and get off, and it takes forever, and it's a pain in the butt. Which for this I was just like, oh, come off fine. But sometimes even high quality stickers on the glossy stuff don't come off. So a lot of people just keep them on, but they cover half the box art. But yeah, so this is of course the DVD, DVD 2-disc special edition, with both those things right there. But then you guys know, about a year, or I think over a year ago now, at the, not really new anymore, but the newer Walmart here in town, I bought the, it was like on sale for like $15. I bought the Lego Movie, everything, or Awesome Edition, or whatever it's called. And it came with my little 3D Emmett board out there that's on my Blu-ray player, and the little Vitruvius figure, which is a really cool minifigure that I love. And the Lego Movie 3D, which of course I can't watch it on 3D because I know I don't have a 3D player of 4K, but who watches 3D anymore anyway? 3D has pretty much always sucked, and I don't see why it's still a thing. Yeah, so now they're trying to make like Smell-O-Vision in 4D and stuff, which is already a thing, but like in regular theaters. So yeah, so that's of course the cover, the back, and then the 3D is of course on the back, since I will never watch it, with the Batman, and then the same 2 discs as my other one with that and the Blu-ray. But yeah, so there's that. And then you guys know I got the Lego Batman movie, still one of my favorite slipcovers. I really love the embossing right there and how it's like multiple different layers. And yeah, I talked about that for a while on the day vlog where I got this, but yeah, so I have that. And now I have the latest one, of course, the Lego Ninjago movie right here. Of course, you guys know, since I'm a huge fan of the actual show, I really kind of hated this, because one, it completely changes the story from the show and the looks of the characters forever. And now if you keep track of the show, they are actually changing the show to match up with the movie. So they actually, Garmadon was a bad guy for like the first 2 seasons, and they brought him back, and then he died, I believe, at the end of season 4 or something like that. But now I guess they're actually bringing him back in like season 9 or what, I can't even remember. They're bringing him back or something, I guess. I have not watched any farther than, I believe, season 7 so far. Because of course we haven't had cable for a few years, and I just watch them when I get them on DVD. But yeah, so I actually ended up enjoying this movie quite a bit. It's still my least favorite out of like the 3 released so far of this Lego universe, whatever. But of course, it's still my favorite animation of all time. I just love how you can like see the thumbprints and the scratches and like the real life mixed with Lego and real life objects and stuff. But this was pretty funny. Most of the humor worked. I thought like none of it was gonna work from the trailers and stuff. But this is definitely the most ADHD out of any of them. Most of them, I just don't think, like, for the rest of them, I think adults can handle. This one, adults are probably going to be like, oof. Like, at some points, I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, so, front cover, really like that. The back, right there, as you can see, I got all the residue off. But, yeah, so, there's that, and then the slip cover off, and then, the inside there, which they actually even did like what the show does. They just have like the same discs for all the discs, because there's usually 2 discs per season, and they basically just color them like different colors, mainly red and green and stuff, which instead of like doing what the rest of them did, they kind of did what the show did. That's what I was talking about when I showed my Lego Ninjago like shows last time I got the new ones. How after season 7, all of the characters were going to look like how they did in the movie, and Julian Michaels doesn't even do the voice for Lloyd anymore, but the same voice actors still do the voices for the rest of the guys. Yeah, and then of course on this, they don't look the same as season 1 through 7, nor do they have the same voice actors. Of course, they have bigger actors, but they, of course, can't get people like Michael Pena and Dave Franco to do it for the show as well. They have other movies to do. But yeah, so that is it for my updated movie collection. I'm going to go put those away, and we'll get on to the next thing. Alright guys, so next up is what I was talking about with the mystery packs. I actually got 2. So you guys saw it on the thumbnail, but one of them was the Lego. Of course, I don't like really get Lego too much anymore, and if I do, I just collect like the minifigures. But I got 2 mystery packs. I actually finally got one of the ones. There was like 2 series for the Lego Batman movie, and I believe I got series 2. And the reason I got it is because it was actually a repackage, because someone like tore into it to check what figure it was and decided, no, I don't want that one. But I just checked if, like, I was just like, okay, well, I mean, it's like $1.50 cheaper if all the pieces are there, why not? And I checked and all the pieces were there, so I got it for like $2.80 instead of $4. And it's still a pretty darn cool figure, which you can see it's actually Jell-El, I said that kind of fast, Jell-El or whatever his name is, I believe it's like that. But it's actually Superman's dad, which was on like a deleted scene, I believe, from the Lego Batman movie, but he came with like a different color. I don't think I have that crystal piece in that color anyway. But also his little armor right there is really, really cool, and I don't have that hairpiece. I used to have that hairpiece for the old classic Superman in black until I traded it away a while ago. But now I have another one of those hairpieces, and especially in white. That's pretty darn cool. And he also has the dress piece. But also I have tons of those like base plate pieces, but they're all in like that black, as you can see that Joker standing on, because of course those can't come with every series minifigures, mystery minifigures. But this season actually came with the same thing, but with that little Batman logo printed on them. So that is really, really cool, and that's probably my favorite base plate. But then you saw on the beginning with my sorted Legos and stuff in my closet. They actually came with this piece, which it said it was made in 2008. So I don't know if it was, or if it just said 2008. In this year is the 60th anniversary of Lego, but if it was, then it would be 2018 now, so it'd actually be the 70th year. So I don't really know, but I believe it's the 70th year. But yeah, so that actually came with that, so I decided to put it on display 60 years of Lego right there, a really cool little plate. And then underneath that, I actually put that base plate on it, which is actually an orange one, which, if you don't know, comes with the latest minifigure series, Series 18, I believe, which is I believe 40th anniversary of the actual Lego minifigure, so it came with orange base plates. So that's like the 40th anniversary of the minifigure and 60th anniversary of Lego itself. So yeah, so the minifigure I mainly wanted was there's 2 Lego costume guys, and there's actually a guy and a girl. I mainly wanted the girl because, of course, she had the blue Lego costume, not the red one. And I felt, and they're pretty easy to feel for, of course. So I found her pretty darn quick, and I was right. So it came with that hairpiece also, which I only have one other of, which is, of course, the cooler one, since it has the streaks, but of course it's for wild style. But now I have one in just plain brown. So yeah, so you can see her little costume with, I really like the little, divot type thing that they put her on the head, so it looks like their heads are just kind of poking out. But yeah, so their heads are kind of sinking in, and then the guy was wearing a red suit and came with a blue little piece, but since she's wearing a blue suit, she came with a red little piece, and really like that minifigure, so put that back with like all my mystery pack figures right there. So yeah, so those are the two right there. I'll show the pictures of them more in detail right now. So yeah, so you can just see the backs of both of them and the base plates, with both of them actually standing on them. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for that. So yeah. So now for my updated little YouTuber wall. Of course, you know this. Over here is all like the YouTubers I'm subscribed to and watching stuff. This one is Plain Rock Vlogs. He's actually like, I believe 19. I started watching him a little bit ago, of course, with his sellout video, the Jake Paul concert thing. But I've been watching him. He's not a daily vlogger. He only vlogs like bigger events in his life, so he only vlogs like not too often. But yeah, but when he does, I really enjoy his vlogs. He's pretty darn funny, and he's like a memer. But yeah, so it's basically just his profile picture I use this for his vlog channel, but then I put Plain Rock Vlogs right there, with a little black background type thing on there, shadow. And then right here, one of the actual good parts of the Vine, when Vine got taken down and all the Viners migrated to YouTube. There's only a few actually good ones in my opinion, like Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez, but I actually subscribe to Danny Gonzalez. He makes at least like 1 or 2 videos a week, and he's pretty darn funny. I just honestly kind of still like him better than Drew Gooden. But yeah, mainly just a main profile picture again with Danny Gonzalez right there, and then Shirley Greg, which is what he calls his subscribers. And then Cosplay Chris, I've been watching him for a while, but I finally subscribed to him, and nothing's really edited about that. That's just his profile picture. And then right here, you guys know I used to have Matthias right there, but then he changed some stuff about his channel literally like the day after I made it. So it's pretty much inaccurate all this time, but he just now changed his channel to Dope or Nope - Matthias. And now it's not just him, it's him and always, at least for as right now, it's always him, Tanner, and can't remember his name right now. I believe it's Michael. I can't remember. But yeah, so all of them, I just put that kind of grid in the back because it kind of matches their style, and then that's not their logo, but it's kind of how it is. I made that myself, and just kind of put on there with the back shadow right there, and then I just cut them out kind of right there. I actually couldn't find like pictures of them on Google Images or anything, so I actually screenshotted that from one of their videos and just kind of cut them out. So yeah, so that's my updated little YouTuber wall there. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for this day vlog. I'm pretty sure that's every single thing I had to show. So yeah, so also real quick, I know if you're a 21 Pilots fan, I am also fanboying out because as you guys know, they have not made an album for like 3 years since Blurryface. I've been talking about them, they're like my favorite band, but I've been kind of getting bored because it's just like same music for 3 years just about. I mean, they released Heathens in mid-2016, but ever since that, they haven't made a new song. And for about over a year, both Josh and Tyler have not really posted anything on their social media. So basically, for the past 3 years, we've only had one song, and for the past year, we haven't even really heard from them. But literally, they started like tweeting stuff, or they started like posting this stuff of like this eye with like things happening in the pupil, and I was just, and everyone, the clique started freaking out, and I was just getting so excited. I was just like, oh my god, are they finally releasing some stuff? And we were guessing what the album title is gonna be called, the music, and then all of a sudden they like released. I woke up yesterday morning, and but yeah, so I just woke up, and then like on Instagram they were just like, here's your video for our new song titled Jumpsuit. And I like flipped out because I mean, not only did they release one song, they released 2 songs, the full album track list. I believe, I don't know if it's the official album cover yet, but it sure looks like it. It's got the bird, and the new album is of course called Trench, which is surprising because everyone was thinking it was either going to be called Silence or Clancy. Clancy's like the second most main character in the album though. It's Clancy, and I can't remember the new main bad guy because it used to be Blurryface of course, but this new one is of course the guy riding on the horse with the red cloak and like the bag over his head and the gray skin. It starts with a B, I cannot remember it right now. Yeah, so but both of the songs so far I think were a really good comeback. They said they wanted kind of a different sound, and the second one is it reminds a lot of people of Laneboy, which I think it kind of does too, his little rapping and stuff, which I really like that song. It kind of has a reggae feel also. But the first song, it's like, of course, my second favorite band, almost tied with 21 Pilots, is Bastille. And the first song with the deep bass and the rock and stuff, it almost felt like 21 Pilots was collaborating with Bastille, and I was just like, okay, like two favorite bands, that's awesome. Right now those two songs are the only released for me anyway, as of the time I'm recording this. But I really love those two songs. I think they're a really good comeback. I am so happy they're back. I cannot wait for the other 9 songs of the album. And so next day vlog, I'm probably going to draw, of course I draw for 21 Pilots since they're my favorite band. I drew all those things, and I drew like things for each album, like Blurryface, Vessel, Self-Titled, and Regional at Best. So next episode, I'll probably have one like right there. I am going to draw one for Trench, which I'm probably going to draw the bird, their new logo. That's the other thing, is like their new logo. Because their logo has always kind of been like, that was like the first one, of course, and it was kind of like that. Self-Titled was the same thing, but it changed a little bit to Vessel, and then it was like that on Self-Titled, then it changed a little bit to Regional at Best, and then it pretty much stayed the same from Regional at Best to Vessel, but then to Vessel to Blurryface. Of course, it turned into the one we all know and love right there. But now it is like completely different, because actually, if you have not seen it, it's like neon greenish yellow, and actually has 2 lines and then 2 slashes. So I don't know if they still call it the kitchen sink, but I don't know if I like it better yet. But the colors, I'm kind of it's weird, because I used like blue, black, and red and white on like all of these, because those are colors, and all of a sudden they're just like black and yellow. So I don't know if that I imagine that's just for this album, but I don't know. They're definitely going way different with this album. But if they keep on going with the 2 song, like how they did the first 2 songs, like, I'm not just one of those new 21 Pilots, like, I've been liking them for a few years now, but I'm not just one of those new guys that only likes their new songs. Like, some of my favorite songs are, like, one of my top 10 favorite songs, I believe, is on Self-Titled. Vessel has probably 3 of some of their top 10 best songs of all time. Regional at Best, at least 2 or 3 of them. Blurryface is still currently my favorite album. I know it has most of their songs that everybody knows, even if they're not a fan of 21 Pilots. But honestly, like, because they said there was some of the people were gonna say it was gonna be like all slow songs for Trench, but obviously not. The first 2 were not slow. But for each album, there's at least always like one slow song. Like the one I didn't like on Blurryface was Before You Start Your Day, because I'm not a fan of like slow songs the whole time. I'm more of a fan of alternative rock and stuff. Honestly, if it keeps on going like this, it could be my new favorite album. So there will be a new drawing on the next day vlog. I'll show you that to you guys then. But for now, that is it for this episode. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. I have a huge announcement once we get there, and a huge thing, since it's like phase 2 of my channel. We're starting phase 2 of something else, which I'll explain there, which may have something to do with phase 1 of all of our movies and TV shows. I haven't even said a word about it, but if you want to pause right here, I've planned out, basically, me and Brayton, we were kind of like, this whole time we were kind of just like throughout this, we were kind of just like making up stuff, and we were just like, wait, that kind of like connects to this movie, and that kind of connects to that episode of that series, and we were kind of making this fake cinematic universe, but then we actually started intentionally connecting it. Of course, my brother on this movie, or my character's brother on this movie, was brothers with one of the guys on Cypress, my character's brother on Solo Revolution was one of the brothers was one of the guys on Cypress. And then, of course, Donnie the Dino actually guest stars in episode 3 of Wilderness Adventures on For the Ginger, and he's on there. And then Big Cortilio was what Donnie the Dino turned out to be, and Big Cortilio was, of course, the main villain on Gestures of the Dark. So if you guys have been paying attention, you guys know that, like, wait a minute, this is all a cinematic universe. So not all of my movies and shows have been throughout all the time, but you can see all the dates that they were posted, and all of them in their cinematic order. As you can see, some of them were released way before that. For example, like 4/7/17, but then the one that comes before it is 5/18/18. It's kind of like Marvel Cinematic Universe. They'll release movies out of order, but they connect, and they're kind of where they need to be. So that's kind of the same thing for this. So if you want to pause that and see where everything goes, that is actually phase 1 So yes, that's kind of a huge announcement right now. But if you guys get me 2,000 subscribers, either way we're releasing it. But I am releasing the first ever part of Phase 2 of the Brandon World Cinematic Universe. Once we hit Phase 2 of our channel, and that is starting off with something I sadly introduced a long time ago, with a horrible trailer that I kind of wish I never made. It was so bad. But this movie, I already made the intro, or the beginning scene, and an inner scene that I haven't edited yet, because we need some more scenes to connect it. And the final battle, I have the final battle and the beginning scene all edited. And so far, it is not my best movie, of course, because that's intentionally take me almost 90 days, because that's my best like filmmaking stuff. But this one is another like fun one, kind of like Solo Revolution, but still with more creative shots, kind of like Solo Revolution. But this one is really, really cool. I cannot wait to start Phase 2. So get 2,000 subscribers, and we will start Phase 2. So I'm so excited. But that's it for now, so I'll see y'all later. Bye!